Alright, how's it going? My name's Phil, FIL, and start this video off, I've just got some stuff to post. Not really watery eyes now, I can't see what it is. This is the first thing, I think it's a pair of ladies trainers. Today look at these shoes. This is a shoe. It's time for us to take a couple of looks. Look at a couple of things I've sold on the internet. So we've got these ladies Nike running trainers. I bought these from the local charity shop for £5 and sold them the same day for £18. Nice quick flip, not mega bucks, but you get a bit of a kick out of doing it that day, I think. And this was a similar story as well. I bought this off Vinted, and as soon as it turned up, listed it on eBay, and it had sold the next morning. This is a Petzl rock climbing rucksack, and I think I got it for just over £10 off Vinted, and I sold it for nearly 30 on eBay. So not crazy money, but certainly worth my time. Just seeing how big that locker was back there. I've got a couple of dildos I'm trying to get rid of after this experiment that I'm not trying anymore, but I think I'm gonna have to send them via Parcel Force. Well, I'm just gonna quickly pop into Home Bargains. Is it Home Bargains or B&M? No, it's Home Bargains, and I want to get some more of these Liquid Death. Let's crack one open now, actually. Fill. It's just water, by the way, if you don't know. It's I'm not sat here. It sounds like something I would have got from Shitty Dave's ages ago, but it's like delicious water. And I don't think it's doing very well in England. I think it's American. They've got like Ozzy Osbourne in their adverts and stuff, and I think it's quite cool. It is literally just sparkling water with a little flavour in it, and I think it's quite cool. They've called it Liquid Death, as like, I don't know, it's just a bit of a piss taking it, but it's not really done. I don't think it's done well over here, because this, at one point, the first time I bought a can of it was like £2 a can, and I bought it out of curiosity. Now you can get 4 of these for £1 in fucking, what is it, Home Bargains. So I'm going to go and buy a load of them, and because it's cheaper, I normally buy bottles of fizzy water, and it actually works out cheaper or the same or whatever for me to have some nice drinks in the van. And these feel like cocks. Cans, I mean, and that's what I like to feel in my hand. Let's have a look what we got in here. £3. Let's go and get £3 worth. Well, times have certainly changed. Fuck's sake. Alright, let's have a look how much we got for lunch. 1, 2, 3, £4, 10, about £4.15. £4.15 for lunch. Well, I spent exactly £4.15 on that lot. £3.15 for the cow's arse cheek, and then we got a pot of Asian slop for that was £1. £4.15. You certainly wouldn't get a meal like that at Wagamama's for £4.15. You probably wouldn't be able to get a meal like that at Wagamama's. And that's probably why they're still in business. But the best thing about having a van is being able to pull up and just eat when you want and save yourself a fortune and still have a good hot meal, and obviously the fantastic views that go with it. Just quickly use the toilet, then do the washing up, and then hit the road. Well, I've just arrived. That was really loud. I've just arrived in the city of Colchester, and I've got a few jobs to do here a little bit later, like having a few beers and that, but for a good reason. And I've parked the van where I want to leave it tonight, which is just around the corner from the pub I'll be going to later. The only problem is that it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon now, and I'm not allowed to park here for free until 6 o'clock tonight. I've made myself a little sign though, which might throw the old parking man off the scent, and it just says, I'm working in 164. If you need me to move van, please buzz and I will move immediately. Thank you. And I've picked 164 because I can't see it out of any of these flats that are in front of me, so he might turn around, realise he can't see it and just think whatever and walk off. But more than likely he'll probably read that and think I'm going to give him a couple of tickets instead. There is a sign over there which says Monday, Saturday, 8 a.m. till 6 p.m, 30 minutes, no return within 2 hours, no waiting, no wanking, no... Speaking about wanking in the back of a van, I've been wondering about this recently, whether what is the law on wanking in the back of your van, because some people live in their van, it's their home, and obviously you're allowed to masturbate in your home, but what is the rules with wanking? Because obviously if you go to like a campsite, people go camping for the sole reason of shagging, and obviously if you don't have a partner and you're going camping, it's surely acceptable to, you know, rub one out before you go to bed or whatever. But where do you draw the line? Because if you're not in a campsite and say you're parking up outside a church for the night or something, is that acceptable? Don't know. And then obviously there's people have probably been caught out, like say you got into town late at night and you just need somewhere to park, and you find somewhere and you think, oh, this looks nice, and you get your head down, well, you have a little wank before bed, and you wake up in the morning and you do the same again, and then you open the door and you're parked outside a playground of a school or something. Like, you got to be careful, because that sort of thing, you know, as innocent as your intentions were, you could, you know, end up on the sex offenders register or something. So be careful until we know what the rules are on wanking in the back of your van. I'll try and find it out. I'll try and find out the rules, and I'll get back to you for anyone who's got a van who like just wants to know that and be on the safe side. Thank you.
I headed into this pub called the Big Brown Knob and ordered myself a nice pint of, and it tasted like, as I sat there enjoying my delicious pint of, I realised this was the perfect time for me to catch up on the Wetherspoons catalogue. I'm pretty sure I've just shit myself. There was a fantastic story about a man, and then there was another story about this couple that can't leave the house unless they're dressed as Father Christmas. This bloke who works at the swimming pool, and this guy, Simon, who likes to drink a pint of his own piss every day after work. Before vacating the premises, I decided to use the facilities quickly just to go for a nice big knobbly shit, which basically felt like someone ripping a football sock full of gravel out of my arsehole. After that, I quickly washed my face and then used the back of my rucksack to dry the excess water off. Next, it was time to pay a visit to this pub called Come In and Spend £8 on a can of beer that doesn't even taste nice, but sit down and pretend to like it whilst playing the victim, telling everybody how you couldn't make it into work today because you wasn't feeling yourself after someone got your pronouns mixed up yesterday. Meanwhile, there's people in the world dying of starvation. And ordered myself a rancid pint of Get a Grip. Before I left this fine establishment, I decided to use the facilities And this was unintentional, by the way, but I did follow the sign and clean it up like a good person. I was running out of time, but I had just enough time to have a quick pint in this pub called Keith's Barred for Life after getting naked in the middle of the dance floor. And then Keith got manhandled out the door by the bouncers. I've had many a great days in this pub, and I thought I'd recreate the typical Wednesday afternoon for you now. If you've never heard of the wild tales of Keith, then perhaps you should subscribe to this channel. You don't need to do that, but you can look at some of the older videos if you are curious. And on a more serious note, this video was filmed quite a while ago, and I'm constantly changing and evolving as a person, like we all are, and realising the error of my ways and trying to be a better person, and I will prove it to you in my next video, so keep your lips peeled for that one. I don't know if I've mentioned it or not, but I've actually got a bit of a back problem at the moment. Fuck you.
Hello, mate.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's a lie actually. I've seen my YouTube audience stats and it's 97% male. So boys, welcome to the Vic. This is probably my favourite pub in Colchester. Great beer, great music, great people, and tonight the pub has been hired out for a private function by some good friends of mine who are in a band called Shed, S-H-E-D. And yeah, they've hired the pub out for the evening, put some money behind the bar so everyone can have a drink. And they're shooting the music video to their song called Session. So if you're into guitars and sketchy mullets, then it's definitely worth giving these chaps a listen. And I'll drop a link to the finished product of tonight in the video or the description. Also, I don't know if I can do that, but if I haven't managed to work out how to do that, then just Google Shed. No, don't do that actually. It's just going to come up with a load of pictures of sort of wooden garden buildings. But if you type in Shed on Spotify, you'll definitely be able to listen to them. And I can't remember what else I was going to say, and I've been distracted by Mrs. Phil dressed as an Eskimo. So yeah, make sure you give them a listen, and if you get the chance to watch them live as well, I really recommend it because they're known for putting on quite a show, and they often give out free stuff like cat food. Speaking of cat food, it's time for some human food, and I'm going to call this place by its real name, Caprianos or Caprianos, and it's just opposite the Vic. And that was me done with alcohol for the evening, so it's time for me to crack open a delicious can of KA fruit punch. When we arrived, pizza, we took it back to the van and roasted ourselves a nice little parsnip just so we'd fully appreciate the flavours of this pizza when we finally lifted up that flap and started gobbling. I had a quick starters, nice pack of Royster's T-bone steak bubble chips, and Mrs. Phil had some other pack of crisps. And we don't normally eat like this, but once a day or something we do like to eat some absolute filth. Talking about being healthy and that, make sure you watch my next FIL video because it's a very important one. Let's quickly talk about the pizza. This pizza is probably the nicest pizza I've ever had. I really wanted a kebab and Mrs. Phil wanted a pizza, so we met halfway and we went for the chicken shawarma pizza. And honestly, probably the nicest thing I've ever eaten. It's going in my top 10 of nicest things I've ever eaten. So if you're local, make sure you go there and get the chicken shawarma pizza. Have a good day.
There was an incident.